It seems like there's no end to Anta producing budget basketball shoes, and it's actually good because if you haven't noticed yet, the Chinese footwear brand has been making a hard push lately for its new sneakers, which are priced at a higher range than the Anta prices I've known in the past, like 5 years ago at least. Fortunately, the Anta Airspace 6 is the latest among the brand's budget sneakers on the court, but there's a catch. You see, I have been writing sneaker stories and posting shoe reviews for more than 10 years, and through those years, I have seen Chinese footwear brands grow and evolve. Anta is one of those brands, and I remember playing in their bulky sneakers long before your favorite YouTuber or social media influencer even started taking notice. But Anta has gone a long way since, and the Airspace 6 is proof of that. But the thing is, the Airspace 6 may not be what you think it is. It's a budget shoe in the truest sense of the word, not only because of the price, but also because of the tech. Not that the materials are cheap, but that it does not seem to be on the same level as the other Anta shoes. You might be wondering though if that is a bad thing, so let's have a quick conversation. Don't get too excited yet because the upper is as standard as it gets. The shoe is a low top silhouette where the upper uses textile for the base material with TPU film reinforcements at the toe box. The shoe pretty much uses a standard setup for the upper, including the tongue and lacing system. The defining feature on the upper is the bar-shaped overlay that extends to the lace holes. Now, if the upper is standard, the midsole on the other hand is tried and tested. The Airspace 6 uses a durable foam material that Anta calls a flash edge. The brand claims that it is wear resistant and has in fact been one of the old reliable foam materials from Anta for the longest time. Supporting this foam material is a specially shaped TPU midsole guard. Anta claims that this midsole setup not only adds some arch support but also minimizes ankle rollovers. What is standard for Anta doesn't end there. That's because the outsole uses what the brand calls cement nemesis. It's a rubber compound from Anta that is specifically formulated and designed for outdoor courts. The outsole is not only upturned as it extends to the midsole, it's also decoupled, which has been a common setup for many of Anta's outdoor specific basketball shoes. So if the Airspace 6 has an overall setup that has nothing new to offer, why should we even bother, right? Let me tell you something. It's all about keeping the business moving and not so much about innovation at this point. Nothing more, nothing less. Because here's what you need to remember. You see, outdoor basketball shoes are pretty much a big market for brands in China, not only for Anta, but for every sneaker brand in that country. That includes Nike, Adidas, and so on. It's still a multi-million dollar market that the brands cannot simply ignore. Ignore it and you miss the profits. Which is why brands need to continue releasing outdoor specific basketball shoes year after year. At least that's true in the case of China's market. And it's even more true in the case of Anta. Because if you have noticed, Anta has multiple outdoor basketball shoe models, some of which you probably haven't even heard of. But ultimately, the brand releases new versions of existing models every year to keep the people interested, and even releasing newer models to give us the illusion of choice, but that's another story. What you just need to keep in mind is this: the Anta Airspace 6 is the latest iteration of a model that has had significant changes over the years in terms of design. Part of the reason for the design deviations is precisely the need to keep people interested, or at least to get people interested, as you shall see. Now, I'm gonna be very honest and frank with you. The design of the first four versions of the Airspace series was just atrocious in my opinion. The silhouettes were bulky and had too much going on in terms of plastic pieces and visuals, except maybe for the Airspace 2 because it looked very similar to the Adidas Dame 3, which was also not a good thing because you could say that it was a knockoff, and a knockoff design is not something that you can be proud of. And then Anta did something much better with the Airspace 5 because for the first time the silhouette was sleek, the design was more original, and the tech was upgraded. In a way, you could say that the shoe line had a major makeover in terms of form and function, and to carry that design principle over to the latest, the Airspace 6. So you could say that the Airspace model started off in the wrong foot, but Anta must have realized 4 models later that it needed to improve the design. Because if you haven't noticed yet, when Kyrie Irving joined Anta, many of the brand's shoes actually had design overhauls. It's like Anta's entire sneaker catalog leveled up after Kyrie took over as the brand's chief creative officer. It's what you may call the Kyrie effect over there in Anta. But then again, nothing about the Anta Airspace 6 is groundbreaking enough. It may be far better than the earlier designs, but the tech is still not on the same level as the other more recent Anta basketball shoes. But I think Anta intended it to be that way because the Airspace model is ultimately a budget shoe. If you head over to Shopee, it retails for about $83, but after some vouchers, it drops to about $60. Which brings me to another point. For some time now, I've been seeing some sneaker reviewers say that a $100 shoe is a budget shoe. Maybe it is if your pockets are deep enough, but for most of us, it's actually anything less than $100 that is a true budget shoe. Not $100, definitely not anything above that. But let me know what you think. Hey man, thanks for watching. You can support me and my cats by joining my channel membership. Thanks, and I hope to see you on the next one.